ground is shaking. Tens of thousands are marching to destroy the holy city of Makkah.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Omar, and we are stepping right into the center of the year of the elephant. Brothers, it all started hundreds of miles away in Yemen. A king named Abraha built a massive golden temple. He thought gold could buy their faith, but the desert tribes only mocked him. For a tyrant, that means war.
أقسم سأهدم كعبتهم حجراً حجراً.
He brought his ultimate weapon, the lead war elephant, Mahmud. Any tribe that stood in their way was completely crushed.
Now that terror has reached Makkah, the city is breaking into panic.
But one man remains calm. Abdul Muttalib, the leader of Makkah.
Abraha's soldiers raided the valley and stole his camels. The leader of the city enters with such majestic authority that the king steps down from his throne.
The leader of Makkah walks right into the tyrant's tent. Let's listen.
أنا أسمعك يا سيدي. ماذا تطلب مني؟ أخذ رجالك 200 من أبلي. أريد أن تعيد دهالي. جئت من أجل البيت العظيم وأنت تسأل عن الإبل؟ أنا رب الإبل وللبيت رب يحميه. هذه الجمال لك حتى الصباح فقط، وغداً سيكون نصري العظيم.
The people fled to the mountains. The stage was set for a divine miracle.
The night passed, but as the sun rose, the army prepared for destruction. They were ready to wipe Makkah from history. I watched them align their ultimate weapon, the lead elephant, Mahmud. They pointed him directly at the sacred valley. And then,
يا رب أحم بيتك. هذا البيت بيتك.
the beast refused to move. The giant elephant knelt down in the sand.
ماذا تفعلون؟ أوقفوا! تقدموا للأمام.
They beat him violently, but he would not take a single step towards the Kaaba. When they turned him towards Yemen, he immediately stood up. When they turned him towards Syria, he moved without hesitation. But the moment they faced Makkah, he dropped to his knees.
Here's the truth. The elephant wasn't taking orders from Abraha.
Suddenly, the desert wind died. An eerie silence fell over the massive army.
For the first time, King Abraha felt pure terror.
I looked up at the sun. It was midday, but the sky was turning pitch black.
A massive dark cloud was rushing in from the sea. But it wasn't rain.
The soldiers dropped their weapons. They had never seen anything like this.
Flocks of birds, wave after wave, covering the entire horizon. One in its beak and two in its claws.
the divine judgment began to fall.
A storm of stones tore through the air. Judgment was falling, fast.
But they pierced through solid iron and flesh like bullets.
They were the Ababil, the smallest of creatures sent to destroy the greatest of armies.
ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بأصحاب الفيل ألم يجعل كيدهم في تضليل.
Allah did not need an army of men to protect his house.
The mighty war elephants panicked and crushed their own masters into the sand. King Abraha was struck down in absolute humiliation.
وأرسل عليهم طيرا أبابيل.
I stood there, watching the greatest military power of the world turn to dust.
There was no escape. The divine punishment was complete.
ترميهم بحجارة من سجيل فجعلهم كعصف مأكول.
Tens of thousands of men wiped out like they were never there.
Abraha was carried back defeated. He did not recover.
But look down at the valley. The sacred Kaaba stood completely untouched. The people of Makkah returned, falling to their knees in awe of Allah's power.
This miracle was so great, the Arabs called it the Year of the Elephant.
But the destruction of this army was only clearing the path for the greatest event in human history. Abdul Muttalib was right. The house truly had a Lord who protected it.
50 days after that army was erased, in the house of Amina, an orphan boy was born. Abdul Muttalib held his grandson with absolute joy, taking him to the Kaaba. He gave him a name that was rare among the Arabs.
He named him Muhammad, the Praised One. May peace and blessings be upon him.
Abraha wanted to redirect the world to his golden temple.
But today, his temple is completely destroyed and forgotten beneath the dust. While the simple house of Allah is visited by millions of hearts every single year.
No matter how massive the army, no matter how giant the elephants in your life may seem,
This is the ultimate lesson of the Year of the Elephant, forever immortalized in Surah al-Fil. Allah always protects His house. Arrogance will always be crushed. And the power of Allah cannot be challenged. I am Omar, and this was episode 1 of the Seerah, the story of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you want to witness the true history of Islam with your own eyes, watch the next episode of the Seerah Kang and subscribe to the channel. No matter how great the challenge, trust in Allah alone. He is the protector. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.